Just text me, don't call.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hyacsho. I am Hyacsho, and this is my show. And today, we're going to be answering the question if Tempo Punk is for you, and if I can rank top 10 on Tempo Punk's Red Pulse Challenge. Spoilers, I did, but it was on easy mode, and I'm not ashamed of that. Anyway, but seriously, Tempo Punk was developed by the excitable bunch at Matima Studio, and it is a rhythm shooter. It feels like rhythm shooters are a niche of a niche of a niche in a lot of ways. Some games have really managed to ace the formula, and well, some of them I haven't played to be fair, but some I have. Games like Bullets Per Minute, which is, I always say bullets per second, but Bullets Per Minute, Metal Hellsinger, and Robo Beat. In Tempo Punk, we're Kevin, spelled this way, and we're essentially trying to survive in a robot dystopian hellscape where everything wants to kill us. We just do this through having a really good beat. So much so that when we start each level, we bounce a little bit, which I thought was quite a nice little addition to the formula. Now, to be completely transparent, I didn't think that I was going to like this game, only because it is a rhythm shooter. Rhythm shooters are, well, they're difficult. And I don't think I have the patience for difficult right now. I'm only hanging on by a thread. So yeah, I wasn't sure that I was gonna like it, but I actually really did. It's somehow balanced really fun music. So the music is electronic and techno, which is one of my favorite genres to focus with. So that worked really well. And I only started to realize that I just focused on the gameplay and started focusing on shooting and keep beating the enemies, I could almost time the tempo on my own. So it is definitely a kind of game that you need to master, similar to Metal Hellsinger or Beats Per Minute or Robo Beat. It does take practice, and you do start to see an improvement in your own skills over time. And I'll tell you why I know this, because Tempo Punk has a leaderboard and a lot of scores, which is great. So a game like Metal Hellsinger, you do unlock different things by doing better, and that is skill-based. That's cool. Robo Beat does something similar. But what I really liked about Tempo Punk was that it directly rewarded you through bragging rights. And if anybody knows anything about people playing games, is that bragging rights is the ultimate reward. Within Tempo Beat, you start the game pretty straightforward. It's everything that we can come to expect. Remembering that this is a demo. I should have said that before. This is the demo. It's not on full release yet. And there's still quite a lot on offer. I might have alluded to this before, but even though we're named Kevin and there's somewhat of an interesting story here, we don't get to know very much about it. It seems that the game prefers you to interface through specific challenges. I was told by the developers that they've just launched their Red Pulse Challenge, which I thought, okay, I'll see what this is about. But then as you play, you start to see, okay, so there's different difficulty levels as well as different challenges and then leaderboards for those challenges. So if this is something that you enjoy, if you like rhythm-based shooters and you like scoreboards and competing, this might scratch that itch for you. I know that I didn't intend to go into this game for that, but when I realized that I was, I think, at 12th out of 10 on the easy Red Pulse Challenge, I just couldn't play difficult. But anyway, I didn't play for long, but it was a really cool experience, and I realized that I had to be in the top 10. So I kept playing until I got to the top 10, and it has a really fun mechanic where every time you move, whether you're doing a dash or a duck or a reload or shooting, you can take advantage of the beat and thus increase your combo multiplier, which increases your score. So imagine a situation where you are on a hard difficulty and you can increase your multiplier every time and not let it drop and lose all those points. You can keep it multiplying the entire run and multiply your points by like a crap ton. If you were watching me stream this game, you'll see how I kind of just locked in on this game. Like any rhythm shooter, especially for the uninitiated like myself, everything needs to be focused because you're listening to the beat of the music as well as the gameplay in front of you. And what I think a lot of games tend to do of this nature is that they kind of overload you with stuff going on. Yes, to distract you and, ruin your run, but at the same time, there's a lot you need to focus on. Do you dodge? Do you move? Do you get the beat? Do you shoot? Do you shoot that guy, but then watch out for that rocket that's flying through the space? So it's very cool in that way, and I think that is a great challenge within itself to maintain focus. But in my case, I had to have hyper focus just to get through the first run at first, which was crazy, but it was really cool when I finished it. And then eventually, yes, I managed to get in the top 10 of the Red Pulse Challenge, but for easy. But I don't care. Easy's there for a reason. I needed starts, right? Speaking of the movement, though, I mentioned it briefly earlier. Movement overall is wonderful. It feels very much like Metal Eden in terms of its dashing and its mobility and its sliding. That's all great there. If you're a fan of Doom Eternal as well, you're definitely going to find a home in this game if, you know, rhythm shooter and all that. But the movement is really top class. It's definitely one of the... Sorry, it was the green Lamborghini again. But anyway, but seriously, so the gameplay and the movements is really a great feature of Tempo Punk and something that you immediately become aware of. It's very fluid, it's very responsive, very few delays. It's a really, really great experience in that respect. I realized how addictive it was getting because you keep doing your run and you think, oh, I could just do a little bit better, just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And that was definitely present in this game. And I think it's partly due to the leaderboard and the combo multiplier, where you feel that you can strive for perfection and improving your skills and get a lot more reward from that. What is very cool is the developers are looking to do more level customizations and including your own music. But yeah, this currently isn't available, or at least it didn't seem to be. They kind of blurred it out on their menu, but it definitely seems like something they are going to be exploring in the full release when they eventually get there. And I think that's really cool. The ability to create your own mods and create your own maps is something that I think a lot more games should do nowadays. You don't see it that often, but when games do it, you create this community around it, and that is what I think is important about Tempo Punk, is that sense of community. Bullets per Minute, Metal Hellsinger, really amazing, solid games. But what really makes games last long is their ability to create a community around those games. Custom levels and mods, and in Doom's case, WODs. He's driving back now. All meant that games like Doom or even now Wizardom can last for a lot longer because people can engage and create their own things. And I think that Tempo Punk has that potential to do that. I just don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe something like a snap map. Not really very sure. But what you can see is that every time you go through a different challenge, those challenges are made by people. I can see that this is where the developer may want to go, is where you create these community challenges over and over, have community events. I love that. I love that games do that, and I think games need to do more of that, especially in the AAA space. So yeah, is Tempo Punk for you? I think it is. If you are looking for a rhythm shooter, if you are looking for something with tight movement, but you also need something a bit more cybernetically cyberpunk flavorful, then I think this might work for you. It is a bit more dark than Bullets Per Second, but I like that. It is quite forgiving, or it can be, and it is skill based. So that's pretty cool for those of you that like to master a specific game or go all in. So if that's what you're looking for, I think you're going to find it here. But as always, this is an indie game and it's in demo. If you just like FPS games in general, worth a check. I think a friend of mine reached out to me on Discord saying how much they really did enjoy the game, and they were happy that I played it on stream, which by the way, I stream every Saturday if you want to go and see indie games. I host this show called Indie Inbox. Basically, when I get games sent to me via email, I never really have time to play them, so I thought, oh, let's just live stream the indie games, and we do that. So come check me out on Saturdays. We stream a lot, and maybe we'll play another game that you like, and you can check it out there. Sometimes I do giveaways. In a nutshell, everybody, was quite unsure when I saw Tempo Punk because of its rhythm shooter roots, but pleasantly surprised, and I recommend you go and have a look too. And if you have played Tempo Punk, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what you thought of the game. Anyway, that's it for now, everybody. Please, if you like what you see and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe or follow to see more. And until next time, please take care. Rip and tear. Cheers. I swear, we've got to include the green Lamborghini. Maybe I can put a thing on this about a green Lamborghini being rented in Dubai and all the weirdos just come and rent it. They have no money, but they come and rent the same green Lamborghini and they all drive it down the street. And everyone knows you're lame, you have no money, you got no class. Anyone can rent that thing. It's cheap as shit, losers. Anyway.